Okay, for loop. For loop is a little different in here than C++. C++ has some of these things in there, but I don't think we practice it enough. So remember what I said about the while loop? You would do set, check, change. Of course, in the for loop, we're going to do all of them in one statement. Now, if I have strings, I can just say for letter in state name. So it's going to go through each character and it's going to pick up one of those characters. So we can do that for the for loop. We can say range. So when we are using range, we have three different um, function for the range. We have one that has the starting point, and this is one less than ending point. So we are not going to, so it's inclusive on 1, exclusive on 10. So when I say range 1 to 10, it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it's going to stop. So it's going to stop at 1 before this. If I don't put the first one, it's going to start with 0. So we can have the same thing. So I can have a range with 1 parameter. I can have a range with 3 parameters. So if I have with 2 parameters, this is my starting point. If I have with 1 parameter, my starting point is going to be 0. If I have 3 parameters, the last one is a step. So I'm going to go from 1, 2, through 9, 1 through 9, and I'm stepping 2. So it's going to be, in this case, it's going to go 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and it's going to stop. The first one is going to go 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So if I say range 10, I'm going to, that's what we're going to have, which is 10 numbers. So if I have 5, it's going to start with that. 1 through 5 is actually 1 through 4, and this step. So you should practice on this. It's a little different than what you're used to, but it's very, very useful, very friendly. So the question is, if I have a for I in range 6, what values of I am going to get? If I have I in range of 10 and 16, what values do I get for I? Remember, it's going to start at 10 and it's going to stop at 15. If I have a 0, 9, 2, then what does that mean? I'm going to start with 0. I'm going to go 1 less than 9, and I'm going to step 2. So what numbers do I get? 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. And if I have a -1, then I'm going to go backward. So I start with 5, and then what? So you can see I'm going to stop at 1. So in the previous one, we were stopping 1 less than this. In this one, we're going to stop 1 above this. So that's basically the for loop. So this is the planning. You should go through it. This is basically for CS2 students. So I'm not worried about you guys. You just want to do it in Python. So here we're going to be talking about the special format of a print. Remember, if you do the print, it's going to go to the next line. But if I don't want to go to the next line, I'm just going to put end equal empty string. So my end, okay. So this is a function. Print is a function. Function can be overloaded. So I can have one parameter, two parameter, or maybe more parameters. So in this case, if I have one parameter, my end is going to be set to the default, which is new line. But if I put the end to this, it's just going to print and it's going to put this at the end. So it's not going to be \n. So we can overwrite that. We can put the loops inside the loops. You guys know this already. I shouldn't worry about that. So this is talking about how we're going to create a two-dimensional table. So we're going to have a loop that goes through the rows, one loop that goes through the columns. So we can go the rows and columns, or columns and rows, however you want to do it. So let's take a look at this one. So if I have for I in range 3, for j in range 4, print the star and end is empty, and then we have the print. So you got to think about, why do I have this print? So I'm going to be printing this in one line, and then I'm going to go to the next line. So think about this, write it down. What do you think is going to be the result of this? So how many rows and how many columns do I have? I have 3 rows and 4 columns, starting with 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to be printing stars. And when you put okay, the next one, it says I range 4, J range 3, and now we're going to have 4 rows and 3 columns. And the last one is talking about I in range 4, but the J is going to be in range of I plus 1. So as I am increasing my rows, my J is going to be increasing. So that's what's going to happen to that one. Remember the modulus. So if I am checking for the modulus, I am looking for odd number if my modulus is 1. So we have to go through these steps. You're going to put this as your design for every program. So we have to understand the problem. That's step 1. Step 2, we're going to do the calculation here. Step 3, we're going to repeat the process. Step 4, we're going to put it in the Python. And